Hello, viewers. This is Michael bringing my 490 podcast. This is my 490 podcast. And like always, I'm going to speak very loudly, very clearly, and very slowly in case you don't understand me. Also, I try to do my best not to breathe so hard during this audio podcast recording as well, not to cause any audio feedback as well. And finally, if you're under 18, this audio podcast recording will change your adult language. Once again, if you're under 18, this audio podcast recording will change your adult language if you're under 18. Now, if you're over 18, that means you're good to watch this audio podcast recording. Now, anyway, let's get into the topic. Now, there's been a major news break in DC TV. Now, as you guys know, the new hit show Stargirl it's gonna be it got renewed to a second season, but it's now moving to the CW. It's now moving to the CW. Now, in the beginning, once Stargirl came out, the CW and the DC streaming service were sharing to air the show. So basically, the DC streaming service will, they air Stargirl on Monday, and DC. I'm sorry, I'm a tongue tied. So basically, the DC streaming service aired Stargirl on Monday, and you can watch. And you can watch if you don't have DC streaming service, you can watch Stargirl, or you can get the chance to see Stargirl on the CW or watch it on the CW app. So basically, that was their rating. Stargirl was submitted by the DC streaming service. They produced the whole first season of the Stargirl and whatnot. It is an original DC streaming show, but all of a sudden, once the word came out, or once the big news came out that Stargirl, Stargirl started to blow up and whatnot in this first season. So basically, it always got renewed to a second season, but now instead of the second season, being aired on the streaming service and the CW, the second season. It's gonna be airing. It's gonna be airing on the CW, only on the CW. So basically, what the fuck is going on with this? So basically, a lot of people are like, "What the hell?" If Stargirl moves to the CW, they're gonna fuck it up. Well, my opinion is, I don't think the CW will fuck it up, but I think that the filming might change a bit. The effects might change a little bit, but after the CW fucking up Stargirl, nah, I wouldn't say they won't fuck it up. Like really fuck it up. They might change a little things, about the way how the show is filmed. Maybe some effects might be a little. Might be some change to the effects of the show. So basically, it probably will be the same show. So basically, as you know, Stargirl is still in Atlanta, so is Black Lightning. So basically, what Black Lightning is, they have more, because Black Lightning has less episodes, they have more money to spend on the effects. So basically, it's most likely the CW won't give Stargirl any more episodes. They probably will keep Stargirl at 13, maybe at 13 episodes, or maybe just give them 2, or maybe 15 at the best. So basically, I can see the CW is like, we're gonna. They're probably going to keep Stargirl at 13 episodes at the most, or maybe 15. So basically, we just have to wait and see how that turns out. But the showrunner for Stargirl saying he's glad that the show is being renewed to a second season. He said he's not going anywhere. So basically, it's been confirmed that the showrunner I can't pronounce his fucking name. The showrunner for Stargirl saying that he ain't going nowhere. He's gonna stay with Stargirl. Stargirl. So basically, we don't have nothing else to worry about there. So basically. A lot of people. So basically, that question is, will the move? So basically, the question is, will the move to the CW affect Stargirl? Well, maybe a bit. So basically, in little shit, maybe the show. Maybe the show might have to, some effects might be a little toned down a bit. The filming of each episode might be a little different, and plus they might have to do a crossover episode with maybe with the other shows. So basically, it's the Flash. So basically they'll have to. It might be some I would say the move will affect Stargirl a bit, but not enough to fuck it up. So basically, the moving Stargirl from the DC streaming service into to the CW will affect the show a little bit, but at the same time, it could benefit from being on the CW, because honestly, the CW did a very good job promoting the show, better than the DC streaming service. So basically, every time you watch the CW at late at night, you always see good promotions for Stargirl. So basically, the DC. So basically, the CW did a hell of a job promoting Stargirl, and plus Stargirl could benefit more being part of the Arrowverse. Had the Flash stop by, we can see, Stargirl and the New Justice Society come, starring crossovers and whatnot, have a big ass crossover and whatnot. So basically, there is a lot of benefit for Stargirl going to moving from the DC streaming service into the CW on the CW network. So basically, there's a lot more benefit for the show moving from the DC. Moving from DC streaming service to the CW network, but at the same time, the show, but Stargirl also benefits more when it comes to how the show is filmed. Because honestly, all the DC live action shows, you're just not watching it seems like you're not watching a show. It seems like you're watching a mini movie. So basically, Stargirl does benefit more on the DC streaming service when it comes to filming and when it comes to filming special effects. But it's basically a 50-50 right now. So basically, my opinion is Stargirl will. I believe that Stargirl will be affected a little bit moving to the CW for its second season and forward, but not by much. So basically, I won't think that the CW won't fuck it up, won't completely fuck it up, but there might have to little things might change, like the filming of each episode, or the effects. But they have to dedicate a episode, maybe one episode, maybe an episode or two for doing crossovers. So basically, that's just that's just small things. This just small things, the small little things that the small little things that that Stargirl might be affected by moving to the CW. The effects, the special effects might be different. The film, each episode will be different. They might have to dedicate a episode to for doing crossovers with the other Arrowverse shows. Those are the small things. But long as the showrunner is still, long as the showrunner of Stargirl is still doing the show, we have nothing to worry about. So basically, the CW won't fuck it up. But this also brings a bigger question: is why would the DC streaming service let the CW take their hit show, let them take their hit show, and like that. It really brings up this question. So basically, ever since the HBO Max streaming service started, the DC streaming service has been sharing their shows with the HBO Max streaming service, like Doom Patrol. So basically, you can watch the episodes of Doom Patrol on HBO Max as well. So basically, and Titan season 3 is most likely probably going to stay on the HBO Max streaming service as well. So basically, a lot of people are wondering what is the point what's the point of the DC streaming service, sharing shows with other streaming services, instead of keeping these shows on their own streaming service and not sharing them. So basically, it brings up that question, like, what the fuck is going on with DC? What the fuck is going on with the DC streaming service? Like, what, that's a question we need to get answered. Like, honestly, it seems like the DC streaming service is like, ever since the whole merger, ever since, Warner Brothers went to deal with HBO, for the streaming service, to do that Green Lantern show on the HBO Max streaming service, what the fuck is going on with that? So basically, I know that according to that new Green Lantern show is going to be a HBO Max original streaming service show. So basically, it most likely won't be. So basically, if that show does come out, where the Green Lantern TV show, where the Green Lantern show will be also still on DC, on the DC streaming time, on the DC. Sorry. Will the Green Lantern show be also streamed on the DC? Will also air on the DC streaming channel as well? So basically, that's a good ass question right there. But a lot of people say that this is a sign that it's a hit starter. It's a CW take a hit. Sorry, blah blah blah. Oh, tongue tied. Give me a moment. Alright. If the CW can take a hit show like Stargirl from the DC streaming service, with the Dr. HBO Max who's taking Titans, Harley Quinn, the Doom Patrol, even Young Justice from the DC streaming service as well. So basically, like I said, if the CW can take a hit show like Stargirl from the DC streaming service, what's going to stop HBO Max streaming service from taking the Doom Patrol, the Titans, Harley Quinn and Young Justice from the DC streaming service and have them air only on HBO Max? So basically, what the fuck is going on with DC? So what the fuck is going on with the DC streaming service? Because also you had a hit show that that's been doing very well on your streaming service, and all of a sudden you decided to let a TV network to take your hit show and let them show it on their network only. So basically, it doesn't really make any fucking sense. But otherwise, but I'm just gonna leave that for another podcast. But like I said, I really think that Stargirl can really will benefit more on the CW, but also it does benefit on the DC streaming service. But since the DC streaming service is not doing any world building with their live action shows, so basically like it's like we're never gonna see the Doom Patrol and the Titans cross over. So basically, little shit like that. So basically, the DC streaming series made it clear that when it comes to live action shows, they're in their own fucking two separate universes. So basically, but with the DC shows on the CW, there's been a lot of world building. The shows are all connected into the areas and shit like that. So basically, Stargirl will probably benefit more on the CW than the DC streaming service for the long run. But I've been like I said before, will Stargirl be affected by the movement to the CW? Yes, just a little bit, but not. It's most likely that the CW won't fuck up the whole series. The show probably will benefit more on the CW if it would have stayed on the DC streaming service. But I just wish that they would have came up with a deal to share to air cut the deal airing the show on the DC streaming service and on the CW. So basically, we just have to wait and see that if they try to do that, try to keep that deal, try to cover, try to keep that deal going, maybe after season 2 is over. But we just have to wait and see. So anyway, what do you guys think about this? You think about this Wolfdog? What do you guys think about this? I'd like to know your opinion. Please let me know. Please let me know in the comments below this podcast. So anyway, like always, it's Mr. Michael from Scree Views. Sign off. 1.